Our second city council meeting for the month of September. And this time, if everyone would please rise for the invocation by Ms. Moda and standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Ms. Moda.
Thank you, Mr. President. As the council, staff, and the public gather here to make decisions affecting the people of Allentown, I ask you to lift your heads, open your eyes, and open your hearts. Let us offer thanks for the blessings of our fellowship, and let us use each other as sources of wisdom in our decision-making. Our most seriously duty is to look to the community we share, the example we make, and the legacies we leave. That should be our most courageous and noble intention. Let the feeling of kindness in a well-directed yet gentle spirit be reflected in all our actions. Thank you. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Moda. Mr. Hanlon, please note that all members of City Council are present, and we always welcome Mr. Glazier, our controller, and we welcome Ms. Fruworth tonight as our solicitor. We will start with courtesy to the floor. Obviously, if you're speaking for yourself, you have 3 minutes. If you're speaking for a group or an association, you have 5 minutes. Mr. Kessel, welcome.
Good morning, afternoon. Thank you very much. On September 17th, I was up here and I complained about washing machines and dryers being sold on Fillmore Street in Allentown. And I want to thank the City Council for taking care of it. Darrell Hendricks went down, spoke to the people, and they're no longer selling stuff out there. So we own it here when things are bad, we like the crazy when things are good. I forgot to give you my name, David Cashel. I want to invite all City Council and the people in the audience to Mountainville 30 Spaghetti Dinner on October 14th at Trinity Memorial Lutheran Church from 5 till 8 p.m. It's free and there is a donation pot there. Now, as you know, I'm also on the Environmental Advisory Committee for Allentown. I want to thank the City Council for approving Melissa Altman as one of the members. And I understand Randy Fry has his application in for several months and has not been approved. So right now he is not a voting member of the council, and we need all the help we can get. And one last thing, I would like to know if City Hall could possibly hang this somewhere. It's in Eastern Berks and Western Lehigh, this little, cute little butterfly, but it's very deadly. And if you see him, you're supposed to eradicate him.
Okay.
So if you could hang it
Yeah, why
somewhere.
don't you give that to, Shannon Corey is representing the administration, so Shannon, maybe if you get that to the right people, and she'll vet it and see if we can get that up.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, sir. Hello. Might have to put down the mic a little bit closer to that. Name and address.
Andrea Rivera, 627 West Tillman, and who's my neighbor?
Jose Rodriguez, 626 West Tillman.
Tycho Yolina, 635 West Tillman.
Thank you. Go ahead,
I
ma'am.
was here a little while ago, like 2 months I believe, and we still got the same problem. Now it's worse, because it's more people doing more stuff. I just got pictures in my cell phone. They're burning cans and cases in the front of the houses. They have all the from, I'm gonna show you a picture.
Give us the address.
The address is 633 West Tillman Street.
Okay.
These are the pictures, if I can show you.
You could start over there, then you could pass it down.
Got furniture that we just breaking it on Saturday. They were playing, like they were probably wrestling in the front of the house. They were hitting it against the tree and everything. They do it and they're going wild. Every time they pass, it's getting them wild. And he's the neighbor, he's the gentleman that lives next to them. And not long ago, they even blew his lock in the house.
Do the people that live there rent the house? Or do they
Yes,
own it?
they're renting the house, yes.
I spoke to to you out here. I did tell them about DCR, they call the police, it's not that they make, music, that type of thing. So when the police go out, they just, there's no notice for them to give a DCR at that point. So I suggested calling, Tom, they're gonna send me these pictures, I'm gonna call Tom Harper and send them to him. And then I'll talk to someone in the police department, see that DCR. And I told them, each time you call, ask for a DCR anyway, you know, because they may catch noise or whatever.
It seems like Sweet might be the way to go with that.
Yeah, that's, so make sure you send me those, I gave him a number,
Okay.
and I will send them to Tom Hopper tomorrow.
Okay. Also, you know, he was out of the house. They put super glue inside his key, so in the lock, so they can go in the house. When he came in, you know, he had to ask one of his family members to open the house for him. They have a big mess. I don't know. I'm afraid when I sit in the porch, because I don't want my husband to have a confrontation with nobody. Because the cars, we park in the front of the cars, and they running with the skateboard at 11 or 9. You sit to relax, you know, you don't sit to have problems with nobody. So, you know, this is the things that we are afraid.
And we have the address, right, and, I'll go to Mr. Brady first. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. This couple and gentleman came before us. I suggested they come before us because they had complained to the police and nothing happened in the past. So I said, you can certainly come to City Council and express your sentiments. They did it several weeks ago, and we referred it to the police department, to the administration, and nothing happens. And I think it's really important that when people give complaint, that they watch, you know, that the complaint is taken care of. Especially when they take their time from their busy life to come over here and come to the meetings. And we have many people who have done this before, and I think these are just citizens, good citizens who want to keep order in an area that is unorderly, unfortunately. In that area of 600 block of Tillman Street, you know, you have people, the park is right across the street. You have people from, you know, from the corner store there that are always going up and down, and sometimes they don't behave as good citizens should.
No, we're not complaining about anything else, because we live right there and we used to. The people have respect for us so far, because they know that we're living right there for a long time. But these people just move in and they rent in. I don't think we deserve to be in a place that you are nervous to go in and out of your house.
Correct.
And to have a tragedy, you know, because one of them is gonna flip out one day, and I don't wanna see that.
They usually, I'm sorry, cut you off, they usually go to the roof, because they're together.
Yes, I'm
Some people
afraid.
heard them at night, running through their roof.
Yes, I'm
I live
afraid.
across the street, so that didn't happen to me, but there's people seen them running through the roof at night.
I'm afraid that they won't go in, because they use drugs, you don't know, they lose their mind, they drink, you don't know, and I'm afraid, I don't sleep at night because I'm, you know, going up and upstairs, downstairs checking.
And what I want to make sure is that we target these people once and for all. So I will ask Ms. Glory, who is representing the administration, to please take care of this. You know, send somebody there, find out what's going on, and if you have to cite them, give them a fine, do whatever you need to do to make sure that his hardworking family can live in peace. And that's our right, that we live in peace with my property. That's what the complaint.
That's all that we ask for, you know, to be comfortable like before, because we never have a problem with, never.
So hopefully we can get somebody there this week.
And we appreciate whatever you can do for us.
May I ask something? When we spoke in the hall,
Sure.
you told me there was a very small child in
Oh,
that home
yes,
also.
oh, yes.
That you were afraid
This-
for.
This broke my heart. He was telling me
How
that
old would you say this child is?
she's like 3 or 4 years
3 or
old.
4 years old, yeah.
So we can get children and youth there as
Yeah.
well. Make a
Yeah,
resource.
she was there and, you know, everybody, and they cursing, they screaming, they yelling, I'm like, how? Smoking weed, you sit in my porch. I invite you, one of you,
And
to
this
sit in my
child
porch.
is in this home, lives in this home?
Yes.
Yes. I invite one of you to
Have
sit
you
in my
contacted
porch.
children and youth at all?
No.
When you should contact children and youth whenever you say that, and it's anonymous.
Yeah, I
You
just
do it
find out
anonymous.
from him. I just find out now from him. Cause he's the neighbor next door in the other side. I'm in this side, like 2 doors down.
They have county children and youth.
Yeah.
So you can call them.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. McLean, go ahead.
Just one thing, I see Chief Struss in the back there, and I think that between Ms. Gloria and Chief Struss, that Chief Struss could get the PSA captain to work with the city administration to do whatever's necessary with that.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
She's right.
Thanks.
Staff, did you do anything else? Okay, same with Roger, okay. Thank you, Mr. McLean. Anyone else courtesy to the floor? Courtesy to the floor? Going once? Oh, Mr. Kaminsky, welcome, sir. Good. Penn State, come on.
I root for whatever T-shirt comes out of my.
You're a smart man.
Mike,
Lots of tough one. Go ahead, Mike.
Michael Kaminsky, 779 Benton Street in Allentown. Kind of going off what Mr. Keschel said, I want to thank the police department publicly. Small incident with some students over at South Mountain, and you know, it seems like it was squashed, and that also there had patrols there in place just to make sure that there was no other nonsense going on there, for lack of a better term. So I wanted to just also commend the police department publicly for helping out with that. I'm coming here tonight not so much as a resident, but as kind of as a representative of the district, although not in an official capacity. I've recently taken on the role of middle school athletic director at Harrison Morton Middle School, actually assistant to Andy Coloni, who's the overall middle school director. And one of the things that I see on a daily basis, and I think it will help our city immensely, and it's got to come from Parks and Recreation. We need to improve the offerings for our young people with sports, and particularly our young girls in this city. We used to have, as you well know, a very active West End Youth Center, and there was, you know, Pixie Pony and different levels of softball. But we struggle right now to get 2 girls to try out for our middle school softball team, which is a combination of South Mountain and Harrison Morton. We had 2 girls, I believe, last year. We do not currently field a field hockey team. It is my goal next year that we get a field hockey team at Harrison Morton. But the bigger picture is, I think a lot of our young girls especially are not aware of these opportunities, because we are doing a poor job in cheating them and not getting programs in place to give them the opportunity to learn, hey, maybe I'm good at volleyball, maybe I'm good at field hockey, maybe I'm good at softball. And I think it's basketball and football will always sell in the city. You always have, you know, coaches that are willing to coach them. I myself am a washed up basketball coach, so everybody can do 2 things, boil water and coach, right? And on that side of things with those 2 sports. But we are really lacking right now at the youth level. And I don't know how in good conscience we can look. I admire our girls from Deer for field hockey that go out there with a team of 12 girls, and they go march into an Emmaus high school with, you know, 12 or 13 or whatever state titles they've had. I mean, that's tough. And I'm not saying that if we do this, we're gonna, you know, compete for state titles, but we need to get a program in place to help get the interest up, and eventually that will filter up. It will take time, but it needs to come from the rec department, and I believe the rec department has struggled to promote that in the past 10 years or so. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kaminsky. It is a struggle, and I know we've talked about it with Ms. Taylor, and, you know, we have to reach out, and I know they're doing their best and did surveys and so forth, but hopefully we can see that turn around. Anyone else, Chris, for the floor? Seeing none. Mr. Hanlon, approval of the minutes by comments consent? So moved. Any old business? There's no old business. Communications, I will read communications. City Council held an executive session yesterday, last evening at 4:15 with the city solicitor on a personnel matter regarding appointments to the Hart Board, pending litigation involving Patriots Park, and a settlement in the litigation involving the police department. These subjects are exceptions to the open meeting requirement under the Sunshine Law. We'll move on to reports from committees. Mr. Garidi, we'll start with you, Budget and Finance.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Budget and Finance Committee has not met since the last council meeting. The next scheduled meeting is on September 29th, Thursday, and that will be at 5:30 p.m. To review many meters, finance plans that we have.
Thank you, sir. Community Economic Development, Dr. McGuire.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee met this evening. The next meeting has not yet been scheduled. Information has been circulating to the council on food vendors, and we plan to take up a review of issues that have been raised at the next meeting of the committee.
Thank you, sir. Human Resources Administration appointments, Ms. Appa.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee met this evening. The next meeting has not yet been scheduled.
Thank you very much. Park and Recreation, Ms. Moda.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee met this evening, and we have not scheduled the next meeting yet.
Okay. Thank you very much. Public Safety, Mr. Hendricks.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee last met on September 14th. No new meetings are scheduled this time.
Thank you, sir. Public Works, Mr. McLean.
Also, Mr. President, thank you. We met on September 14th, and there's no new meeting scheduled, and we reviewed the budget, which is printed right here.
Thank you, sir. Rules, Chambers, Intergovernmental Relations and Strategy. I'm the chair. The committee has not met since the last meeting. A future meeting has not yet been scheduled. City Controllers Report. Mr. Glazer, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a brief report this evening. Just going to comment on the highlights of the accounts payable weekly check review for the time period July 30th through the 2nd of September of 2016. We had a couple of findings, and I'm just going to comment on 2 or 3 of them. We noticed that some wires were posting to Eden, which is the accounting software, in an untimely manner. The city pays its bills basically in 2 ways. One is we write checks every week, but certain bills may be paid by wire, electronically, as it were. 3 of the 13 wires that were posted to Eden in August were actually expenses paid in June and July. Treasury was advised of the issue and will take precautions to post wires on a timely basis. We also noticed that in certain instances, multiple invoices were entered into Eden as one invoice. The problem there is you compromise the audit trail. If you're looking for an invoice, it might not be listed. Once again, the administration's been advised of this, and going forward, they'll make sure that invoices will be entered into Eden correctly. And finally, we noted that the controller is the repository for contracts for the city after they go through the process, and in multiple levels of approval and scrutiny. They come to my office to be filed, and then we post the listing on the website. We've noted that occasionally a contract has not been sent to the controller's office to hold. We found one the other day, and we noted advised the appropriate department, and they forwarded it to us, so now it's on file. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Glazer. Appointments, Ms. Atho. We'll go to appointments.
Yes, we have appointments tonight for the appointment for the CARB, which is a historic, I was going to say hysterical, Historic Architectural Review Board. These are the appointments I'm looking to have appointed. Barry Borst, BOBST, reappointed the architect. Daniel Sell, is his last name Street?
No, so,
Is that, or is it Daniel Sell?
Daniel Sell.
Sell, a reappointment of building inspector. Robert Brenner, reappointment real estate agent. Paul Renault, appointment real estate agent, alternate. Steve Huber, reappointment. Patricia Jackson, reappointment. Michelle Olson, appointment. Ellen Roberts, on board. Gregory Champ, appointment, alternate.
Thank you very
Do I
much.
have any comments from my colleagues?
I just want to thank you for doing, there's a lot there, so, Heart Board, and the Heart Board is, for just a little history, the Heart Board is, the appointees are all from City Council. Thank you, Ms. Happa.
Any comments from the public?
We will
Seeing
vote-
none?
We will vote with the iPad on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 appointments. We will vote right now.
Oh, Mr. O'Connor.
Oh.
Hold on, give me just 1 second.
I don't know how to do it.
Talk for yourself, man.
I'm not going to use it with pop up. Okay, everyone vote for the appointments to the Heart Board. Mr. Hanlon? No, hold on, not yet. And just a point of reference, and Mr. Fruitt, our solicitor, we talked about this before. We're voting as a package. We're not going to go one vote for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. And that is in with the legal rights to vote as collectively as a package.
It is under your rules.
Thank you, Ms. Fruitt. Appreciate that explanation. Okay, we all set?
And Mr. President, I have 5 yeas and 2 nays, and the 2 noes are Mr. Hendricks and Mr. McLean.
Thank you very much. And we will continue with ordinance for final passage, Bill 50, Mr. Hanlon.
Bill 50 amends the equipment fund by reallocating $610,822.48. It's unspent 2015 allocated funds for IT and police projects.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Appa, this was in your committee. We talked about 2 weeks ago. We brought it back because we wanted to break down of the $614,000. And Ms. Appa, go ahead, take it, please.
Is there anyone that, any comments from my colleagues, names? None? How about the public? Anybody from the public?
No, we'll split it up when you had your committee meeting a little while ago.
So how we just vote?
Yep, ready to go. Mr. Hamlin, we will vote.
Can we
On
do
Bill
a
50.
little minor amendment, and can you change by common consent the equipment number there to read 614072.48?
That's what we got.
And that's what we have, and it went from, we changed it from 610-82248 to 614-072.48, right?
Yep.
That's the amendment, and that was introduced, and that was passed when we had committee meeting this evening. 3-0. 3-0. Okay, ready to vote? On Bill 50.
President, 7 yeas and no nays.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to, thank you, Ms. Appa. We will move on to Bill 53.
Bill 53 amends park regulations, section 08, vehicles, by deleting the provision that allows biking in Trexler Park only on days of the week with the letter T in them, in effect allowing biking at Trexler Park every day.
Thank you, sir. And Bill 53, Ms. Mota, Parks and Rec, that was in your committee this evening.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, the bill passed favorably 2-1 in front of council.
Thank you very much. Any comments from my colleagues on Bill 53? Comments from the public on Bill 53? Seeing none, Mr. Hanlon, we're ready to vote.
President, has 6 yeas and 1 nay. Mr. O'Connell is the nay.
Thank you, sir.